Top Flower Garden Design Ideas 2025. Transform your backyard into a stunning floral paradise. A flower garden has always been more than a patch of ground filled with blossoms. It is a living stage where colour, fragrance, and form blend together, creating a place of enchantment and calm. Throughout history, people have turned to gardens for rest, for inspiration, and for the simple pride that comes from shaping beauty with their own hands. When we enter a thoughtfully designed garden, we do not just see plants. We experience atmosphere, mood, and the presence of nature in its most welcoming form. In 2025, garden design reflects not only creativity, but also sustainability and function. Even the smallest backyard can be transformed into a radiant retreat. The key lies in planning with care, combining structural choices, plant selections, and personal expression into a whole that feels natural and alive. This is not just gardening, it is the art of creating an outdoor sanctuary that responds to both human needs and the rhythms of the earth. The foundation of every successful garden is planning. Planning means more than deciding what flowers to buy. It begins with observing space honestly. How large is it? Where does the sunlight fall during the day? What is the soil like? And how does it handle water? What weather patterns shape the seasons in this region? Each answer informs the garden's future. A plan drawn carefully before planting ensures that each choice supports growth, health, and harmony. Sunlight, in particular, is decisive. Certain flowers thrive only under direct rays. Roses, lavender, and marigolds stand tall and vivid when bathed in open sunlight. Others prefer protection from strong light. Hostas, impatiens, and shade-loving varieties perform beautifully beneath the cover of trees or pergolas. By matching plants to the right conditions, the gardener creates a setting where every bloom has the chance to flourish. The layout of the garden provides its structure. Curved beds bring softness, echoing the shapes found in rivers and hillsides. They create a sense of flow, guiding the eye gently from one area to the next. Geometric beds, by contrast, communicate clarity and modern order. They establish balance and give a crisp framework to the scene. In small spaces or city gardens, raised beds and containers introduce height, rhythm, and practicality. They allow vertical growth, simplify maintenance, and turn even limited ground into a stage for abundant life. Pathways are equally important. They guide footsteps, but they also shape the garden's rhythm. A winding gravel path slows the pace, inviting exploration and reflection. A line of stone frames the beds, adding permanence and elegance. Without pathways, it feels unfinished. With them, it becomes an experience, a place designed not only to be seen, but also to be walked, felt, and lived in. At the heart of the garden are the flowers themselves. They are the voices of this living composition. Arranging them requires a sense of layering. Taller blooms like sunflowers or hollyhocks belong at the back, where they can rise without overshadowing others. Medium-height plants such as daisies or peonies form the middle layer, bridging the gap. Low flowers, pansies and alyssum, for instance, create the finishing edge at the front. This progression of height ensures that every bloom is visible, every plant part of the display. Colour choices give the garden its emotional character. Soft pastels, gentle pinks, lavenders and whites suggest peace, tenderness and romance. Bold combinations of red, yellow and purple ignite excitement and energy. Both approaches are powerful. What matters is harmony, balance and intention. A garden becomes a mood painted with petals, each shade carefully chosen to reflect a feeling, a story or a vision. Seasons must also be woven into the plan. A summer-only garden feels incomplete. True beauty unfolds across the year. Spring bulbs announce new life, summer perennials provide fullness, autumn chrysanthemums glow with richness, and evergreens carry dignity into the quiet months of winter. By designing with the seasons in mind, the gardener ensures that something of beauty always remains, that no part of the year feels empty. Texture gives variety beyond colour. Flowers bloom, but foliage frames. Decorative grasses bring movement, swaying softly in the breeze. Ferns add delicacy with intricate patterns. Silver leaf plants reflect light and provide contrast. Without these companions, a garden may look flat or uniform. With them, it gains depth, richness, and character. Landscaping features elevate a garden into a complete composition. Pathways of gravel, stone, or brick emphasize the beds and define the lines of design. Borders of wood, metal, or natural stone hold order and prevent plants from spilling over. These details give structure and clarity, allowing flowers to shine without chaos. Water features bring life in ways nothing else can. A fountain's trickle adds music. A bird bath offers reflection and movement as creatures arrive. A pond, still and calm, becomes a mirror of the sky. Each element invites wildlife, connecting the human garden to the larger ecosystem. They bring a sense of harmony between nature and design, between people and the world beyond their fences. Places for rest make the garden truly human. A bench set near a flower bed invites pause. A swing under a pergola encourages quiet moments. A chair by a pond creates a retreat for reading, for thought, or for conversation. These spaces remind us that a garden is not just for looking at, but for living in. Decorative items enrich the experience. Lanterns extend the magic into twilight. Sculptures draw the eye and create focal points. Trellises and arches offer both structure and opportunity, guiding vines upward, adding height and framing views. With climbing plants like roses, clematis, or jasmine draping across them, these elements turn simple spaces into scenes of romance and elegance. Lighting extends the garden's life into evening. Solar lanterns glow gently, string lights weave festivity, and subtle uplighting highlights trees and shrubs. At night, shadows and light dance together, and blossoms take on a new character under the soft glow. A garden illuminated becomes not only a space of day, but also a realm of evening wonder. Designing a flower garden is both science and art. It requires observation, structure, and care, but also imagination, expression, and vision. Planning ensures plants thrive, pathways provide rhythm, textures create interest, and colors tell a story. With these elements woven together, even the smallest space becomes a sanctuary. More than beauty, it becomes a personal retreat, a place of calm, and a living masterpiece shaped by human hands and nature's gifts. While the first steps in designing a flower garden focus on planning, structure, and plant selection, the second stage brings deeper attention to atmosphere and experience. A garden is not only about what grows, but also about how it feels to move through it, how it welcomes those who enter, and how it transforms the simple act of being outdoors into something memorable. This stage considers elements of space, interaction, and harmony that elevate a garden into an immersive retreat. Pathways play a central role in shaping experience. They are not merely routes for walking, but design features that influence perception. A narrow, winding path creates mystery, inviting exploration as it curves out of sight. A broad, straight pathway offers a sense of formality and grandeur, guiding the eye directly toward a focal point, such as a fountain or sculpture. Materials also carry meaning. Gravel crunches underfoot with a rustic charm, bricks radiate warmth, and flagstones provide timeless elegance. Each choice not only directs movement, but also contributes to the mood of the garden. Edges and borders bring discipline to the scene. Without them, even the loveliest flower beds may appear unruly. Stone edging conveys strength and permanence. Wooden borders offer natural warmth, and sleek metal provides a contemporary touch. Beyond appearance, these boundaries keep plants contained, preserve pathways, and reinforce the sense that every part of the garden has its purpose. When edges are well chosen, the garden feels intentional, balanced, and complete. Seating areas transform the garden into a lived space. A bench shaded by climbing roses becomes a place for reflection. A pair of chairs tucked beside a flower bed provides room for conversation. A swing beneath a pergola offers relaxation with gentle motion. These are not only pieces of furniture, but invitations to dwell. They encourage people to pause, to look more closely, and to connect with the beauty around them. Without seating, the garden may feel admired from a distance. With it, the garden becomes part of everyday life. Water is another transformative element. The sound of a fountain creates rhythm, soft and continuous, masking noise from the outside world. A pond mirrors the sky, adding depth and calmness. Even a small bird bath can alter atmosphere, bringing flashes of life as creatures arrive to drink or bathe. Water introduces motion, sound, and reflection, turning a static landscape into a living, breathing environment. It also connects the garden to nature beyond its boundaries, welcoming birds, insects, and pollinators into its ecosystem. Vertical elements expand the garden upward, adding layers of interest. Trellises support vines that climb and bloom, bringing colour to new heights. Arches frame views, transforming simple passages into moments of ceremony and beauty. Pergolas extend outdoor living spaces, offering shade while supporting climbing plants that spill downward in cascades of blossoms. For small gardens especially, vertical design creates the illusion of space, turning limited ground into a three-dimensional canvas. Colour schemes remain one of the most powerful tools in shaping atmosphere. A monochromatic palette built from shades of a single colour creates elegance and cohesion. Gardens dominated by cool hues such as blue and lavender inspire calmness, while warm tones of red and orange energize and enliven. Contrasting colours add drama, while gentle blends of pastels speak softly of romance. Colour also guides movement, drawing the eye toward focal points and defining zones of experience. When applied thoughtfully, it transforms the garden into a visual narrative. Texture provides richness. Smooth leaves contrast with spiky grasses. Glossy foliage sets off velvety petals. Light catches silverleaf plants differently than it does dark evergreens. These subtle variations prevent monotony, ensuring that the garden remains engaging even when not in full bloom. Texture also invites touch, creating an interactive dimension that draws visitors deeper into the experience. Fragrance introduces yet another sense into the design. Lavender releases calming aroma as one brushes past. Roses carry romance through the air. Jasmine perfumes the evening breeze, while herbs such as thyme or mint add freshness when crushed underfoot. A fragrant garden does more than appeal to the eyes. It creates memory through scent, connecting moments of time to the emotional power of aroma. Lighting allows the garden to live beyond daylight. Subtle uplighting beneath trees highlights structure. String lights suspended overhead turn spaces into settings for evening gatherings. Solar lanterns placed along pathways guide steps with a soft glow. Shadows shift, flowers glimmer, and the garden takes on a new identity at night. With light, the outdoor retreat extends its invitation long after the sun has set. Focal points anchor the composition. They draw the eye, provide orientation, and add meaning. A statue at the end of a path, a large urn overflowing with blooms, or a single striking tree can all serve as centers of attention. Without focal points, a garden may appear scattered or confusing. With them, the eye knows where to rest, and the design feels organized and deliberate. These points also reflect personality, allowing homeowners to weave art, memory, or cultural symbols into the living design. Wildlife-friendly features bring deeper connection to nature. Bird feeders, butterfly gardens, and pollinator-friendly flowers enrich biodiversity. The presence of bees, butterflies, and birds animates the space, reminding us that a garden is not isolated but part of a wider ecosystem. By choosing native plants and supportive habitats, the garden becomes a refuge not just for humans, but also for creatures that share the land. This sense of shared life enhances meaning, giving the garden purpose beyond decoration. Sustainability strengthens the foundation of modern garden design. Mulching beds conserves water, reduces weeds, and nourishes soil. Drip irrigation delivers water with precision, reducing waste. Composting garden waste closes natural cycles, returning nutrients to the earth. These practices ensure that beauty does not come at the cost of environmental responsibility. Instead, the garden becomes a model of harmony between human enjoyment and ecological balance. Furniture and accessories complement the flowers. A rustic wooden bench suggests simplicity and tradition. A wrought iron chair speaks of elegance and timelessness. Cushions, planters, and outdoor rugs add layers of comfort, turning the garden into an extension of the home. Small details, lanterns hanging from branches, wind chimes singing in the breeze, or painted pots bursting with herbs, contribute to personality. They make the garden distinct, unique, and reflective of the people who care for it. Maintenance must also be considered in design. A garden that demands endless work may lose its charm. By choosing plants suited to climate and soil, incorporating efficient watering systems, and designing with access in mind, maintenance becomes manageable. This foresight ensures that the garden remains a place of joy rather than burden. It is not enough to create beauty once. The true achievement is sustaining it through the seasons and years. Community and culture shape gardens as well. Some designs reflect traditions, weaving patterns of heritage into their layout. Others adopt global influences, borrowing ideas from Japanese Zen gardens, English cottage styles, or Mediterranean courtyards. Each approach carries meaning, history, and storytelling power. A garden designed with cultural awareness becomes not only personal, but also timeless, connecting past and present in living form. When all these elements, pathways, borders, seating, water, vertical growth, color, texture, fragrance, lighting, focal points, sustainability, and cultural resonance come together, a garden transcends the idea of decoration. It becomes a world within a world, a place where one can retreat, celebrate, reflect, and connect. The garden transforms from an outdoor space into a personal sanctuary, echoing both nature's voice and the vision of those who design it. This is the second stage of creating a remarkable flower garden. It is about immersion, atmosphere, and experience. It shows how details, carefully chosen and combined, can elevate a space from attractive to unforgettable. It is where beauty becomes lasting, where harmony takes root, and where every moment spent outdoors becomes a memory shaped by nature's gentle hand. The final stage of designing a flower garden looks beyond structure and atmosphere. It asks a deeper question: how can this garden endure, adapt, and remain meaningful through time? A garden is never static. It grows, it changes, it matures with the seasons and the years. True mastery of design lies in creating a space that not only delights in the present, but also continues to thrive and inspire long into the future. This stage is about sustainability, personal expression, and the evolving relationship between people and their outdoor sanctuaries. Sustainability begins with mindful plant selection. Native species often prove most resilient, requiring less water and maintenance, while supporting local ecosystems. They adapt naturally to the climate and soil, bringing strength and longevity to the design. Choosing a balance between perennials and annuals ensures both consistency and renewal. Perennials provide structure year after year, while annuals add bursts of seasonal color, keeping the garden fresh and dynamic. This blend allows the garden to feel both familiar and ever-changing. Water management defines the difference between a garden that struggles and one that thrives. Smart irrigation systems, from drip lines to moisture sensors, reduce waste while delivering water precisely where it is needed. Rain barrels and collection systems transform rainfall into a valuable resource. Mulching helps retain soil moisture, cool roots, and suppress weeds, while composting enriches the earth naturally. With these practices, the garden sustains itself gracefully, requiring fewer outside inputs and aligning beauty with responsibility. Adaptability ensures the garden remains relevant over time. As trees grow taller, as shrubs expand, as light shifts across the seasons, the garden must respond. Flexible designs that allow for adjustment, relocation of plants, and new introductions make this possible. A bed that once held sun-loving flowers may one day become shaded and require a new palette of plants. Recognizing this reality and designing with it in mind turns the garden into a living story that evolves with its environment rather than resisting it. Personal expression makes the garden truly unique. Beyond flowers and structures, a garden reflects the values, memories, and character of its owner. A trellis draped in a grandmother's favorite roses, a bench placed at the exact spot where the evening sun sets, a sculpture that carries meaning from travels abroad, all these turn a design into a personal narrative. Visitors may admire the colors, the textures, and the layout, but it is the personal touches that give the garden's soul. Technology has also entered the world of modern gardens. Smart lighting systems adjust to time of day, casting different moods for evening gatherings or quiet reflection. Automated watering adapts to weather forecasts, ensuring efficiency. Apps help track plant health, offering guidance on care and reminders for maintenance. These tools extend the gardener's ability, blending tradition with innovation to create spaces that are both timeless and modern. Community connection is another powerful dimension. Gardens can become places of gathering, offering shared beauty and shared labor. Neighbors may exchange seeds, friends may meet for tea beneath flowering pergolas, and children may learn about nature by planting their first flowers. The garden becomes not just a personal sanctuary, but also a contribution to the collective experience of those around it. Its impact spreads outward, weaving bonds of community through shared appreciation of nature's gifts. Resilience is crucial in an age of changing climates. Storms, heat waves, and unpredictable seasons test the endurance of outdoor spaces. By designing with diversity, gardeners create resilience. A wide variety of plants reduces vulnerability, ensuring that if one species struggles, others will continue to thrive. Incorporating drought-tolerant plants, windbreaks, and protective structures strengthens the garden against future challenges. In this way, the garden becomes not only a refuge for its owner, but also a model of adaptation and perseverance. Artistic layering enhances longevity as well. As plants grow and mature, they shift in size and proportion. Designing with foresight ensures that as they expand, they maintain harmony rather than overwhelm one another. Trees provide a canopy of shade, shrubs create middle layers of green, and flowers add vibrant notes at ground level. This natural layering mirrors forests and meadows, balancing structure with spontaneity. Over time, it allows the garden to age gracefully, retaining beauty even as it changes. The sensory experience must also be sustained. Fragrance, texture, sound, and light all contribute to memory and meaning. Night-blooming flowers can perfume the air when the sun has set. Ornamental grasses rustle with every breeze. The trickle of water or the hum of bees provides music that evolves with each day. By designing for all senses, the garden remains engaging in every season and every moment, ensuring it never loses its capacity to delight. Spiritual connection often emerges in mature gardens. They be places not only of beauty, but of contemplation and renewal. A simple corner with a stone seat can serve as a place for meditation. A path lined with seasonal blooms may become a ritual walk, marking the passage of time. For some, the garden becomes a symbol of life itself. Birth, growth, transformation, and rest, repeating with each cycle of the seasons. This dimension cannot be forced, but emerges naturally when the garden is cared for with intention and love. Educational value also unfolds. A garden teaches patience as seeds take time to sprout and flowers bloom in their season. It teaches responsibility as maintenance requires consistency. It teaches awareness as each insect, bird, and shift of weather reveals the interconnectedness of life. For children and adults alike, a garden is a living classroom, grounding knowledge not in theory, but in direct experience with the earth. The legacy of a garden lies not just in its present form, but in its capacity to inspire future growth. A well-planned space can outlast its creator, continuing to bloom for generations. Trees planted today may provide shade for grandchildren. Flowers chosen with care may naturalize and spread, weaving color into the landscape for decades. In this sense, a garden is both present joy and future gift, a bridge between today and tomorrow. Ultimately, the final stage of flower garden design is about integration. It unites planning, structure, atmosphere, sustainability, and personal meaning into a single vision. It recognizes that beauty is not fleeting, but enduring when nurtured with thought and care. A garden is not finished when the last plant is placed. It is finished when it becomes a living space that grows, adapts, and continues to enrich life over time. By embracing sustainability, resilience, and personal expression, the garden transforms from a temporary display into a lasting sanctuary. It becomes a place where people not only admire beauty, but also find peace, connect with nature, and carry forward traditions of care and creativity. With this perspective, even the smallest garden holds infinite potential, reminding us that within the quiet work of tending flowers lies the power to shape both present joy and enduring legacy.